Welcome to my life coaching service. My name is Micah. This is video number 4 of a 5-video series where I will be providing information about what I do. In this video, I will be discussing my professional ethics. The first topic I'm going to discuss in this video is accreditation, so essentially who vouches for what I do. So I'm going to break this down into two subtopics, one being regulatory and then one being competency. So with regulation, I am a solo proprietor as far as tax businesses are concerned, and I am insured as a life coach. So anything beyond that, I do not have a license to provide these services. So what I have found in my research, this is not like what I used to do. So I retired of my own volition from counseling just because it didn't line up with my values. And life coaching is more of unregulated territory. So I felt like it was just ethically appropriate just to say, hey, I am paying my taxes, I am insured, but I am not licensed. So as far as competency is concerned, I talked a little bit about my work history, my education, my belief systems up until this point, some of my ethics. And so sometimes people have like certificates that say that they are prepared to be a life coach, that they have been through training, and I am here just to ethically say that I have not been trained to do life coaching specifically. I believe that my experience as a counselor informs me very well for being a life coach, but I felt it was appropriate just to say that I don't have a certificate either. The second topic I'm going to discuss in this video is privacy. So essentially confidential communications between life coach and clientele. So that's what we'll be talking about here. I'm going to break this down into two subcategories. We have record keeping and then the situations in which it is appropriate to report content to authorities. So with record keeping, this is my assurance to those I work with that I do not keep records. I, in and of myself, can remember the conversations that I have with people, and so we can pick up where we left off without me keeping records. That is more associated with counseling and therapy because it is connected to the healthcare industry. It's a part of your medical record, and so that's important for that. But as far as what we're doing for a social experience, I felt it was ethically important just to say that I'm not keeping any records. I think it's more of a risk just in case things get leaked, and so that's why I don't record during this process. The second part of privacy is with reporting. So you can talk about anything during the life coaching process and it will all be kept as confidential as much as I can control that. The only two instances in which I would report something to the authorities is if you said that you were going to take your own life or the life of somebody else. That would have to be a certain statement, so you would have to convince me that that's what you were doing and not just a form of expression. So sometimes we say things because we're upset or we're anxious or for some other reason, and we just say, I don't want to live anymore, or I wish this person wasn't alive anymore. That's something I would check in with, I would ask questions about, but I'm not going to report that. The only instances that I would report it to a legal authority is if you said, I'm doing this at this time in this method. And so with that certainty, I would say, okay, we need to get someone else involved. The third topic I'm going to discuss in this video is my availability. So essentially, when can I meet to provide life coaching services? So I'm going to break this down into two categories. So we have employment and enjoyment. So with employment, I am currently working a full-time job to fund what I am doing here. And so what that does is it creates some inflexibility as far as can I meet in the morning or the evening or what days of week, or if those days of week shift from week to week. And so to some extent, I am out of control of like how much I'm able to provide life coaching services. And so I felt like it was ethically appropriate just to say, hey, there's some inflexibility there just because I am working another job. With that being said, I do enjoy doing this more. And so I tried to set a price point per person where the price is low enough where a person could do this as much as they wanted to do it, but then I am being funded from this so that I can do it as much as I can do it as well. Because I do enjoy this more than any line of work that I've had before. And so I will move more in this direction the more funding I have as I provide these services and as I work the full-time job. Ideally, I retire from the full-time job at some point. But just for now, just letting you know that I do enjoy this more and I will be moving more in this direction in the future. The fourth topic I will be discussing in this video is relationships. So essentially, what is an appropriate connection between me and somebody else? So the first one is going to be professional. So a professional connection is essentially someone paying me for my time, and then during that time, I am putting an effort to focus on the other person. It is entirely for their self-development as an individual so that they can maintain and cultivate their social health. So that's mental, that's spiritual, that's instinctual, that's emotional. So that's the focus, and then I'm just being compensated for that time and that effort. A personal connection is based upon compatibility, and that is going to come down to a shared interest. And so organically, if I have just naturally developed a personal connection with somebody and they are interested in learning if that compatibility is there, they can visit the additional information box down below at the bottom of this website, and I will have a link to some videos that talk a little bit about the different communities I'm creating and the connections that I am open to having in those communities. Ethically speaking, I don't feel like it's appropriate to facilitate both at the same time. And so I'm open to organic seasons of someone working on themselves professionally and then having a personal connection. So I am actively discouraging a person from participating in both types of relationships at the same time. That's it for this video. To learn more about my theoretical options, watch the next video down below. Other than that, hope to work with you soon.